When it rains, it pours. That's definitely been the case this year in the Lone Star State. When the clouds opened up this spring, the drought-stricken land welcomed every drop. Over 35 trillion gallons fell, and that's just in the month of May, officially the wettest month in Texas history. For the first time in 5 years, there is no area of Texas in severe drought or worse. For Tyler Thompson, this rain is a godsend. He ranches between Mundy and Benjamin, west of Wichita Falls. This area was one of the hardest hit during the drought.
We've been in a drought for 10 years now, and except for 2010, besides that, it's been really tough and had to do a lot of adjusting and culling down on our cow herd. Hopefully we're coming out of it to where we can start building back.
Green grass is a welcome sight on his ranch, something he hasn't seen in a long time. He's received more rain in 1 month than he normally gets all year. Though his wheat crop was damaged by hail, he can at least graze his cattle on it. Far better than his normal routine of hauling feed and hay to them every day. He's not quite ready to restock, but seeing green grass and full tanks gives him hope. A couple of hours northwest near Lockney, Garrett Mathis dodges rain to plant his spring crops. Many of his neighbors in the Texas Panhandle and South Plains haven't planted a single seed. That's a trend across much of this saturated state.
Normally our planting season is stretched out, real relaxed. This year it's been in about 2 or 3 day sprints in between rain. But this year it looks like a grain year. We weren't able to get our cotton in early to mid-May like we normally do, so we've switched to more grain this year.
Garrett can't remember the last time he planted into a full soil profile. That's the moisture already in the soil. As he plants his corn and cotton, this will help the seed grow during the summer. Regardless of the trouble, farmers in his area consider the rain a blessing. That sentiment isn't shared by everyone.
It set in raining last fall and it hadn't quit. It's helped to end the drought, but it has come so much all at once, it's detrimental.
Edward's soybean field is now a lake. He farms near Texarkana along the Red River. Torrential rains upstream have turned this once meandering river into a formidable foe to farmers downstream. The water that pours over the spillway at Lake Texoma also pours into fields and pastures up and down the river, and Edward can't just load his crops on a gooseneck and haul them to higher ground.
The rain is affecting everybody, period, but when you're along the river, you kind of get hammered from both ends. You know, it won't quit raining, you can't get anything done, and the river floods you too. Our year may be about over.
Edward thinks this may break the record of 36 feet set in 1908. When the water does recede, no one knows what will be left. Farmers may not only lose crops, but land, since the river's course may change. And the longer the water stays, the less likely farmers can plant their spring crops. Many Texas lakes and rivers have gone from this to this. But you don't have to farm along a river to have flooded fields. They're pretty common these days, and the crops in them are suffering.
The corn is really being stressed from the amount of moisture. There's a lot of yellowing in the crop, a lot of deterioration of the lower leaves. This corn really needs to get its feet dry and get some sunshine on it.
Down in the Rio Grande Valley, Mike England lost an onion crop. Many vegetable farmers in the southern parts of the state are in the same boat. Sugarcane harvest is behind, and many farmers couldn't get their cotton planted. But Mike turned his focus to the positive. Late planted corn and milo that hasn't needed a single drop of irrigation.
The first year in the history since I've been farming that we hadn't had to irrigate any of those crops. It turned into a dryland crop, which has been a big benefit to us. Anytime you can get rain versus irrigation water, you're better off.
Mike is hoping for good grain yields, maybe some of his best. And even though it's been a tough year, his optimism remains steady.
It's a healing of your land. You know, during the droughts, it was so bad that a lot of the country looked like the beach. You know, you look around today and it's just green, the trees are full, flushed out, and you just can't help but put a smile on your face.
Not everyone is smiling. Storms have brought tornadoes, hail, flooding, down fences, and lost crops. Farmers have seen it all this year, but no matter what, they persevere, hoping for the best, preparing for the worst, and riding out the storm. For TFB News, Ed Wolf, Texas.